Are we at the anointed hour?
We are now at 11 o'clock, so we'll call this hearing to order. And the first one would be the continuance, is that correct? And they want to go to what date? September 9th, 11 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, that would be granted. And that brings us to the next hearing. As I say, I'm a little befuddled here by what's happening. So that would bring us to, is it Z2560?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone who is involved in this or wants to make a statement, please stand and be sworn.
May I stand up? Just in case.
Do you all promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I did.
My name is Mike McHenry. I'll be the hearing officer today, and anybody who wants to make a statement, please understand if you're in the public, you're limited to a 3-minute statement. We will conduct this hearing. We will make a record. We would ask that you keep your voice up so we have a clean record. If you're going to make a statement, I would ask that you identify your name and your address. You will be treated with respect, and I would ask that you do the same. At the conclusion of this, I will either make a recommendation to approve this or to not approve it. If I make a recommendation that this is to be approved, it would then go to the county board with a requirement that a majority of the county board members in attendance be in favor of it. I am simply a recommendation. I do not give final approval. That goes to the county board. If I were to disapprove this petition, then it would take 3/4 of the McHenry County board members to vote in favor of it. And for the record, this is application Z2560. The applicant is Elizabeth R., is it Nye or Nye? Nye. And she is trustee of the Elizabeth R. Nye Revocable Trust. The request is a variation within the E3 Estate District and A1 Agricultural District to allow for a maximum building height of 26 feet instead of the maximum 20 feet allowed for a detached structure. The subject property consists of 10.962 acres and is located approximately 545 feet north of the intersection of Cherry Valley Road and Cherry Vale Way. It's in Nunda Township. The common or street address is 3416 South Cherry Valley Road, Woodstock, Illinois. The tax ID or PINs would be 1419-100-036 and also 033. The property is designated single-family residential on the current land use map. The adjacent zoning would be agricultural to the north, and to the south would be single-family residential / agricultural, and to the east and the west would be single-family residential. The current zoning is E3 State District and A1 Agricultural, and to the north and the west would be E3 Estate, and to the south would be E3 Estate and E5 Estate. To the east would be E3 Estate and E3V Estate. The land is designated residential on the current county land use map. The property is approved with a 1-story stone and frame residence, gravel driveway and deck according to plat survey. And there was a frame garage that was removed in April of 2025. There are no wetlands, no floodplain, and there is a proposal to create or construct a barn on the property where the previous frame garage was. There is a building permit which has been applied for, and there are no violations of record. Is that correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Crandall, do you wish to make an opening statement?
Yes, I would. Thank you very much. Craig Crandall on behalf of the petitioner Elizabeth R. Nye. My address is 15 North Virginia with the firm of Zukowski, Rogers, Flood, and McCardle. As Mr. McNerney identified, our client is here today looking for a variation to allow for the construction of essentially a replacement building to a building that was previously there. The need for the request is that the size of the building as proposed is 26 feet in height, which is 6 feet above the current maximum of 20 feet. Permit was applied for, and as a result, upon review, indicated we are going to need to get this variation. That's why we are here today. The request is somewhat de minimis in nature, as you can see from the from the plan here, the site plan there. It shows that it's relatively wooded. Where this building is going to be constructed really is not going to be seen by hardly anybody. Even at that, it's not a variation for location. It's not a variation for size of where it sets, merely for the height. As you will see, there are some adjoining owners here in attendance today. I did have communication with one of those owners. This property has shared access, and I have a Exhibit A that we'll go over in a little bit, showing that it's a shared driveway. And so part of the reason, I think possibly the primary reason that we have some folks here today are concerns about use of that drive, which I presume they will elucidate on their concerns. My only request is that those issues really are not related to what's being requested today. Asking for a variation for height. Access is provided by an easement that was created at the time the parcel was created. This goes way back many, many years. It's really a flag lot is what it is. And there is not, at least to my knowledge, unless someone brings forward today, any specific agreement related to maintenance and use other than it allows access. But I presume you'll hear some more about that as we go. With that, I would like to call my first witness, Elizabeth Nye. Ms. Nye, please state your full name.
Elizabeth Robin Nye.
And currently, where do you reside?
617 William Street, River Forest.
And how long have you resided there?
Oh my goodness, a very long time. At least 30 years.
All right. And your current occupation is?
I'm a physician.
And for how long?
40 years.
Me too. You currently are the owner of the property in question, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you've owned this property since approximately 2000 and what?
That's 2001, correct.
2001. And since the time that you lived there, you did have some additional work done. You had an addition put onto the home?
I did.
And that was in approximately 2010?
Yeah, I think it completed in 2010. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want to show you, Elizabeth, this is what I've marked as Exhibit A, and what I've marked as PIQ, property in question. That is your home, correct?
Yes.
All right. And as I indicated in my opening statements, access to your property comes through a access easement that was part of the deed when you bought the property, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that runs through and it connects to your property.
Correct.
Right, and that's how you access it. Presently, we're here today talking.
Can you hang on one second?
Sure.
What is your concern, sir?
Where's Exhibit A? I don't see it.
I can give you a copy if you like.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have it in our packet.
I didn't get a packet at all.
Okay, well, this isn't a packet. This is information that I'm presenting today as part of it. So if you want to take a look at that.
I would
So
ask that the two
the-
gentlemen share a packet
Okay,
if
so
anybody has one.
this is Exhibit A,
The one that's marked Exhibit A, yeah.
and you're talking about that right now?
That's what I was just talking about, yes. I'm saying that shows the property, PIQ, property in question, and I was identifying how the access comes to it for color.
I'm sorry, please continue.
All right, not a problem. Thank you very much. And so that is your property, and I have marked on Exhibit A with a little black mark. That's approximately where the new building is going, correct?
Correct.
And that building is replacing a building that was there before.
Correct.
As identified in your application, and as Mr. McHenry identified, in approximately April of this year, you knocked down that building.
I did.
And that building it had issues. It was dilapidated. It was really a home for critters and nothing more.
Correct.
And that has been removed, and you're looking to replace that building.
Correct.
Right. I would like to show you what I have marked as Exhibit B. Exhibit B, this was part of the site plan, and it really shows up there, it was part of your application. And that shows where you removed it and where you're going to be replacing the building that we're talking about today. Right, and as identified, you've applied for a permit, and when you applied for the permit is when you first found out that, oops, the size is a little taller than would otherwise be allowed. Hence, we are here before Mr. McHenry and before the county asking for a request to have a variance to allow for a building taller than would otherwise be allowed. All right, I'm going to walk through, and in order to get a variance, there's certain criteria that we have to go through. As I've identified, I believe this is a de minimis request. We're not asking for something all that significant, and we're going to go through the criteria that we need to look at in order to get a variation. This comes from the Unified Development Ordinance of the county. All right. One is particular surrounding, shape, or topographical condition results in a particular hardship as distinguished from a mere inconvenience if the strict letter of the regulations were carried out. Well, in this case, you're just putting up a building. And it's not related to conditions. It's not we're not looking to ask for a variation related to those conditions. All we're asking for is, I'd like to make it a little bit taller. That's the plans that you have, hence we are here today.
Yes.
Secondly, the conditions for which this petition are unique to the property. They're not. I mean, your property is no different than anybody else's, but we're not asking for a variation related to conditions on the ground. We're going straight up. Secondly, purpose of the variation is not based exclusively upon a desire to increase monetary gain realized from the property. Remember, you're not building this to sell.
Correct.
You are not putting a larger or taller structure because you want to gain. Only you want to have, it's the building that you selected for the purposes you intend within that building, correct?
Correct.
The hardship or difficulty caused by the ordinance not created by any person presently having an interest. Well, the hardship just is the ordinance provides you can only build a 20-foot. And you know, as you asked me earlier today, where did that come from? I don't know. Someone along the way decided this is what we should have as a frame of reference. If this were an agricultural building, the height could be any height that you want, but for this height. So again, we did not create the hardship, but it is part of the ordinance. In your opinion, the granting of this variation will not be detrimental to public welfare, injurious to other property or improvements, or to the neighbors which it is located. So making your building taller should not in any way impact your neighbors, correct?
Correct.
The proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property or substantially increase congestion on public streets, increase danger of fire, endanger public safety, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the adjacent neighborhood, correct?
Correct.
The granting of the variation requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the ordinance to others, correct?
Correct.
Now, I indicated that I have spoken with one of your neighbors, and I believe that one or more of them may speak that, in their opinion, that it is detrimental to the neighborhood because of your access. But again, your access to the property comes through an easement that was in place when you purchased the property, correct?
Correct.
And that is the way that you access the property.
Correct.
All right. With that, I have nothing further for this witness.
I do have some questions. You've indicated that this is the classic flag lot, correct?
That's correct.
I'm a little colorblind, but there appears to be some parallel lines that go from the road to the lower left end of the property in question.
Correct.
Is that the access?
You know, I don't have a survey that identifies the width of that. I just know that it comes through there. But I would tell you that with some certainty that the folks here today could give you a very specific answer to that.
Okay.
I know there's an access drive that they share. So I don't know if it's the thicker line or just the thinner one. And I don't know. So Lisa, if you look at this, so there's a thinner line that comes all the way up here, and then there's a kind of a thicker line that goes here. Do you use all of this? Is it both of these, or is it just the thinner one? Or do you not know?
I can't say for certain. I mean, it's a
Okay.
good size. It's a good size easement, right? I mean,
All right, well,
yeah.
I'm going to let the neighbors
Yeah,
identify.
maybe they can
Yeah.
tell you.
I don't have a survey that shows me exactly that. I just know that there's access to the property, and I don't believe there's any question as to the fact that there's access.
Now, when you drew the PIQ on Exhibit A, you made it kind of a rectangle or a squared area, but in reality, there's a little bit of a
Oh,
carve out
correct.
at the very top
There-
left. And then that carve out, that's where the access point would be, is that correct?
It comes through there, yeah.
Okay. And what is the surface of that?
It's asphalt up to that point, I believe, and then it becomes gravel when it hits Ms. Nye's property, is that correct?
That's correct.
And who is part of that easement agreement? What properties use that or benefit by it or are legally connected to it?
I believe there are 3 others in addition to our client, and I believe that at least 2 of those owners are here today, and again, they can speak to that.
Can you identify on your Exhibit A which of the properties also use that easement?
All right, so who else uses it?
Well, this is Consuelo.
Okay, so as you look at the top, to the left where I wrote PIQ, that's Mr. Consuelo, he is here today, so that's 1. Then coming down, next one,
Kasicki
Mr. Kasicki. So those 2 they use it.
and Sequest is here,
And then the next one is Sequest.
right?
Correct.
And those 3 and our client are the only ones that use that. The property immediately, I believe that would be to the south, they don't use it. They have their own access to Cherry Valley
No,
Road.
they do have it.
They use also?
They're not here, but they do.
Okay, so there's actually 5 people that use it.
Okay,
Correct.
Of those 5 people, how many of those people have access to Cherry Vale Way?
None of us
None.
that I know of.
Okay. And does anyone have a copy of that easement agreement?
I don't believe that there is an easement agreement. It was part of the deed that was granted when Ms. Nye bought the property. I have not found or seen any document that says easement agreement. If one of the neighbors has one, that's great. I did ask for a copy and was told, go find it, which I sought to do, and all I was provided was, it was an easement that was provided back into the 1950s, so I think it was prior to some of those splits.
Is there any written documentation pertaining to the use of that easement or the maintenance or the sharing of cost?
Not to my knowledge.
And who would plow the snow and get people in and out?
Plowing, as identified, my client had identified to me, and again, you can ask Mr. Kasicki, I think he kind of has the most knowledge. I believe that they work it out, that it is plowed over time. And then they work it up, but I don't believe, again, I have not seen, maybe we'll see today, an agreement that talks about that. I have not seen one, nor was one, when I asked the title company, there was none provided.
And is it Dr. Nye, is that correct?
Yes.
And doctor, do you live there full time?
No,
And what do you use the property for?
I come up on weekends, sometimes during the summer for a couple weeks. I'd
And-
like to retire there.
See, I've been doing this for 50 years. Your talk of 40 years does not sit well with me. Does anyone live on the property full time, either a family member or somebody that maintains the property, like an overseer?
No,
And do you have animals on the property?
no.
So why do you need a bigger building than what you would have with a garage?
I wanted a building where I could do a workshop, where I could do crafts and do refinishing furniture. So I need a little more height and for storage. And then the garage on the left-hand side of this would be for a 2-car garage.
Okay, I guess I'm a little lost. What do you mean that the garage would be on the left-hand
Oh,
side?
the building is part garage and part workshop.
Okay, so the wood shop would be on only part of the structure, correct?
Correct.
Which side, the right or the left?
I think it's the right, if you look straight at it.
Okay, would it be a one-story?
It's a 1-story.
What do you intend to construct that requires 26 feet?
I want to be able to refinish furniture up top and be able to climb on top of the furniture to refinish it. And then I'd like storage.
Again, I'm befuddled. If the area that you're working on is only going to be one floor, it goes all the way up to 26 feet, where would your storage be? Someone's gesturing back
Yeah, I
there.
was like, I can answer that.
You need you have to say who you are.
Identify your name, please.
Sorry, my name is Matt Van Auken. I'm with Van Hart Services. My address is 3414 Greatcraft Road, Woodstock, Illinois. The reason we need the building to be so tall is we're trying to put in a 14-foot access door to get in so that we could get any kind of vehicle or any equipment in that she needs to remove it. Like a 14-foot door requires a 16-foot tall wall because I need the space for the door to open up to. And then the roof pitch needs to be 412 for the snow load so that the snow can fall off of it. So that's why the building, it's the truss that's actually pretty tall to do the open spans. That's why it's 6 feet taller.
Okay, so in order for her to do what she wants to do, she needs to have this amount of space in the building, correct?
Yeah, we just need the 14-foot door and we need 2 feet above it to open it so that we can get in.
Okay. And if this request is not granted, then the hardship to you would be you wouldn't be able to do what is your hobby, correct?
Correct.
Every old lawyer that I know makes furniture. Who do you intend to give it to?
Well, I don't want to make furniture. I just want to refinish it.
Okay, why?
It's fun. Something to do.
What are you going to do with it once it's refinished?
I think I might give it or sell it.
Okay, but if you sell it, will you sell it from the property?
Doubtful.
Where would you sell it?
Maybe eBay.
Okay. But in the meantime, you would store it on the property
Yeah.
before it was sold.
Or give it to my daughter, who's always looking for nice things.
To the gentleman that made the statement about, needing the height, is there any reason why they couldn't use kind of an old-fashioned sliding door that was taller?
The only reason we can't do that door is the workshop itself is going to be kind of dark, so that the roll-up door that we're getting is going to be all glass. So it's going to be extremely heavy and it's not, it'd be too hard to move. So it's going to be on a motorized opener. So that's why I need the extra 2 feet.
Matt, if you slid it, you'd be sliding it over into the area that's basically the garage door area.
Yeah.
Where the cars are.
It would cover the 2 man doors on either side. So we don't really have room for her to get in easily.
And in your immediate neighborhood and vicinity, it appears that all the properties are at least 3 acres or larger. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
And how many of the properties within the neighborhood have barns on them, if you know?
I don't.
I do know that. I went and counted this morning. There's 4 barns adjacent to her property, and they are all more than 26 feet tall.
And Kim, what is the rule regarding a barn?
So if it is an agricultural exempt barn, there is no height limitation.
Okay. If it is used for ag purposes, what would be the rule?
No height limitation. If it's for at least 50% utilized for agricultural purposes, would not have a height limit.
If it's not used for agricultural purposes, what's the height limit?
20 feet.
Okay. And obviously refinishing furniture is not considered to be an ag use?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And to the neighbors who wish to make a statement?
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I think we should continue this meeting because the gentleman hasn't done his research on easements on the driveway. Okay, and without that information, I don't think you can really make a determination because there is easements that were recorded in McHenry County to our lots. Okay, the second of all, because
Can you identify who you are, I'm sorry, for the,
Please
oh,
state
I'm
your-
sorry. I'm William Kosicki with 3412 Cherry Valley Road. Okay. The second of all is, I have a trucking company in Elburn, and our doors to get semi-trucks in are 14-foot tall. I'm a little concerned why we need a 14-foot tall door on that piece of property unless somebody's going to be moving commercial trucks or vans into the facility. A much smaller door would probably serve the purpose. Also, with this sketch I got, I don't see the garage on it. Somebody said there's a garage next to it. I don't see anything with a garage next to it.
Let me interrupt you for just a
Sure.
moment. Can you explain, is there a garage now, or is it completely removed?
No, what I indicated, that in my comment, there was a garage. That garage was demolished in April, and they're replacing that, what was a garage, with this building.
So the only buildings on the property right now would be the primary residence, correct?
Is that correct? There's primary
That's
residence.
correct, that's it.
And there are no other sheds or barns?
There are none.
Does that answer your question?
Well, yeah, so this is the only building that's going to be going up on the property then?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, because when somebody mentioned a garage next to it, I was like...
I think what it's going to be is one building, one half is going to be a garage, then one half will be used for refinishing furniture.
Okay. The other thing is...
Wait,
oh,
So you'll get your turn, hang on.
Okay.
okay. So that's my concern, is why we need such a large door on this thing, because I feel that it's going to be used if she's doing furniture or whatever, that we may have commercial trucks coming in and out of our driveway, which is not built to handle that type of trucks on the property. The other thing is that her original structure that she had was not on partial number 3 in her drawings here. It was just on off to the right of that. The new one is going to be part on partial 3, which I don't believe that she has complete ownership of that parcel. It's the dispute because it's a government lot, and I have a surveys here showing that when I bought all the land in excess of the Benoit property of the 40 acres, that piece, because it's a government lot, is in question on ownership. So I had mentioned to the attorney that I would suggest that they move that, structure, to be within her, off of that one piece there. So if it comes up where she doesn't have ownership, then we're not sitting in a court battle trying to move the facility.
Are you familiar with the concept of adverse possession?
Yes, I am.
And she's been there, I think, 20-some years.
She-
Why would she not own the property?
Well, a couple of things. Who's been mowing the piece of property? And when you're saying she's on there, her building is not on that piece of property right now. It's off on the other piece of property. So she has not been using that piece of property, okay? It's mostly woodlands in there, and I have been maintaining in the front part of that piece that goes up to the thing, I have been maintaining that piece, mowing it, cutting the trees and stuff like that. So I could pursue an adverse possession if you wanted to claim that also.
Well, I guess my question is, the opposite would be, why are you trespassing on property that's not yours?
I'm not saying it's not mine, I'm saying it is mine. I'm saying according to what I got from Benoit and all the properties that Benoit owned in the Cherry Valley Estates, that piece I do own, okay? And that's why I brought it up, saying that I mentioned about government lots in the county, and Mike Console and I, we had the same property dispute, but we ended up, how many years ago, Mike?
7 years.
7 years ago, settling our property dispute because we had the same situation on his lot. And so we settled that dispute by moving our lot lines and filing it with the county. So that was done and settled. The one with Ms. Nye has not been done and settled.
How many other disputes do you have with adjoining property owners?
I have one with Risto, well, he's not Risto yet, but that was resolved. So really, probably only one would have been I have one more to the north of our property, and they haven't done anything yet on it. Okay. Now, the other thing is, like I said, I don't know how you can rule on not knowing exactly what her easement is as far as the maintenance and who determines it, okay? And who, what kind of traffic, what kind of trucks, all that, until you get that.
I'm presuming you know that. Can you tell us?
Oh, it's probably about 5 paragraphs long. So, you know, basically, you know, I don't know how far back you want to go, but when Ms. Nye decided that she wanted to use granite I don't know what slabs to make her driveway, we had just gone and blacktopped this driveway, and her moving the heavy equipment and the trucks in there damaged some of the driveway, okay? And we're afraid, and I know my 2 owners, 2 people next to me, we're afraid that, you know, with traffic and with the building of this facility, that how are we going to prevent more damage happening to the driveway?
You're in the commercial trucking business, so
Yes.
you have obviously knowledge of commercial trucks. What would be the difference between building a 20-foot tall garage versus a 26-foot tall building in terms of commercial vehicle usage?
The door.
Okay, but does it take a heavier truck to do it?
No, as far as what you're saying, to build it,
Yes.
they probably, I don't know, I mean, you got a gentleman over here that maybe can say more, but I don't know what type of equipment he's bringing in. Are they pouring a cement slabs? Are they pouring a cement floor? Because then you're talking, you know, cement trucks coming in that are 80,000 pounds.
But the same to me, and I'm not a
Okay.
construction person, but it seemed like you'd use the same vehicles to build a 20-foot tall building as you would a 26-foot tall building. I don't see a difference.
Not necessarily, it depends on, you know, we're talking the wood that they're putting in for spans. They may be bringing them in on 53-footers. I don't know.
Let me ask the gentleman who seems to know something about this. Would you be using the same trucks?
Yes, it'll be the exact same truck.
Do you ever bring home to your property any of the commercial vehicles that you own and use in your business?
Never. The road cannot withstand that.
Would you consider agreeing to a condition that you wouldn't use commercial vehicles coming to your property after you build the property? You don't have to answer that now, but you may.
Was your question about commercial, well, I think really the question is,
Of a certain weight.
part of a condition that there's no commercial vehicles coming in and out operating some kind of a business, because you might have a delivery,
Right.
an Amazon, I don't know, you know, these days a FedEx truck or an Amazon truck.
He's worried about her using commercial vehicles in her business.
I
which doesn't exist.
understand, but as I identified initially, really, whatever's going on with that access, really, I think is kind of somewhat superfluous to what we're asking for today. I did ask Mr. Kosicki for a copy of the document. His response is, go to the recorder's office and find it. I did contact the title company and said, are there any documents tied to this that are recorded? They did not provide any to me, so that was where I have. If Mr. Kosicki has the document and he wishes us to look at it, I'm more than happy to review that. But all that aside, that's separate and apart from today's request for variance. The variance is about what we're doing on site. How they get there, you know, it kind of is what it is. But I would like to see that document that he's referenced today.
Oh, okay, let me respond to something in our conversation to this
No,
gentleman.
let me
No,
control it.
I-
No, I'm sorry. I'm in control of the meeting.
Okay.
Let me do this.
Well, I thought I still had
Thank
my
you, sir.
5 minutes.
You had 3 minutes, so you certainly had more than the 3 minutes. Dr. Nye, are you aware of any boundary disputes regarding your property?
I am not and was not aware.
And Kim, this reference to a government lot, what does that mean?
I was not aware of anything other than the county records that indicate that Ms. Nye is the owner, that her trust is the owner of that property. we often see government lots that are, divided up over time and purchased by individuals, and that's what our records show.
When do you show that this particular lot was created?
I would have to research that and see. I don't have that information.
Okay. But obviously being a flag lot would mean it goes back in time. We don't really allow flag lots anymore, do we?
Correct.
Mr. Kosicki, I'm not really concerned about conversations that you had between the two of you. What else would you wish to say?
I just wanted to clarify something, just so he knows what I was saying. I cannot, it's up to them to find it in the county because I don't want to give wrong information. That was my point, and that's all I want to say about
You're
that.
not required to give it to them.
Right, okay.
All right, to the gentleman to my right of you and your left, can you state your name and where you live, please?
Sure, Michael Consolo. My wife and I have been on that property for 28 years. The address is 3414 South Cherry Valley. My comments today were to just not so much be concerned with the height of the new structure unless it brings commercial vehicles of size. A 40-foot trailer, for example, would not be able to navigate off of my portion of the road that I own, which is only approximately 25 of the last feet of the road, of the driveway. Her driveway abuts my property. There's never been a formal easement that was done and completed off of the ownership that I have with Lisa. But assuming that the easement goes with the property, then the property that I own is almost fully her driveway. It's less than 25 feet, it's probably closer to 12 or 14, and I can't speak to that exact number. But right now, based on the demo that was done just a few months ago, and I had prepared some statements about how nice and how good our neighbors have worked together in maintaining the road and offering and volunteering snow plowing, as you had mentioned. But I think this conversation is really headed towards how do you get your building built and not damage the road? The road is damaged right now. My portion is damaged today, and some of it came as a result of the demo that was just done. Some of it came as a result of the driveway that was installed. Some of it continues to happen based on the grout that she used as far as stonework and the sharpness of those stones and how they automatically drift out and are carried out by contractors' tires under muddy conditions or snowy conditions. I can't tell you as a neighbor how often I'm cleaning the top of the driveway there to prevent further damage. It's not right. And that damage doesn't appear to be in Lisa's, plan to either maintain at her expense or repair. And that, as a neighbor, is my concern today. I want to hear what Lisa is going to do to maintain this, because if we destroy that road, then we all suffer. Now, Lisa is not, and again, she spoke to this herself, she's not a regular, everyday person. She's not on site. Typically, from what I can tell, and I'm on site 24/7, I just retired. I've spoken to the contractors. In fact, I think it was you, Matt, don't hold me to it. But when the demo was done, he dragged his equipment and his drivers probably 300 feet all the way to Bill's property with mud and gravel. You could see the wear and tear on the road specifically from that driveway. It's not coming from mine, but it's coming from her driveway. And that has been shown in the projects that she's done. We can't have that, otherwise we destroy the road. Right now, that's my property. And it's difficult to go to a neighbor and say, hey, listen, the wear and tear is accelerated based on the choices that you made for gravel and the equipment that you had installed for these projects. And like I said, the recent demo was something where I approached the contractor, and don't hold me to this, but you may remember the conversation. I was like, listen, look at the road. You dragged all that muck 300 feet. You gotta clean that up, you gotta sweep that. You need that to be responsible as a contractor. This is your contractor. And I was told that day, I think it's gonna rain this afternoon. Listen, I've been in business way too long to accept something like that as an answer. And because I think that you're not present, you can't double check. But it's kind of like the old adage as far as how you treat your neighbor. And you should never do harm to your neighbor. Or, in this case, I own that property, Lisa. There's damage on it. And now, what do? How do I go to you and say, hey, you didn't seal coat after you had, your contractor on. You didn't sweep after that. There's mud. There's muck.
I get your point. Is there any way to show this Exhibit A on the screen?
I have to go scan it in down.
Is there anything that you can show the surrounding properties?
We can pick that was off of Athena.
No, let me see if I can get to.
Can I say one more thing while you're attempting to pull that picture up? And I've tried to blow that picture up many times with the county. Lisa, you will not be able to navigate a concrete truck nor a 40-footer without doing extensive damage to your own property or the existing property.
That one's fine. You've got what appears to be a cul-de-sac. You've got some kind of a colored line heading north, and then there's a dual line. That would be the roadway or the easement, is that
No.
correct?
No, that's not. That's a piece I own. Above that dual line is the driveway.
Oh, that's, okay.
That dual line is the parcel that I bought.
Okay, so, all right, what is this?
That's a piece, that little piece in there, Mike Consolo owns. It's a square. If you want to look at I got a clearer map.
What is this whole thing?
That I own, it's about, the county says it's 0.09 acres, and I own that, and I pay taxes on it. So that gives you an adverse thing that I pay taxes on that.
What is this?
That is the piece that I'm saying is parcel 3, but as you can see on the top part of it, I pay taxes on it.
Okay, do you own this parcel?
I think I do.
This is the one you're talking about that might be a government lot?
Yes, part of the government lot, yes. But that strip there, the driveway sits above that double line you see, the yellow?
Is this where the driveway is?
Yes, that's where the driveway is.
And I own the last portion.
And Mike Holmes, I deeded him the last little piece there when we settled on our property disputes on the government lot. And that's where he's talking about trying to make it into her thing.
Do you know the width of this parcel?
Probably about, of the driveway or which parcel?
From here to here, what's that width?
Probably, I'd say 20 feet. But that's she can't drive on that because it's grass.
How can't you drive on grass?
Who's going to repair all the ruts and everything? That's my lawn that she'd be driving on. She doesn't have an easement for that piece. She has an easement for the driveway, not to drive on my grass.
Can you come up here for a second and show me?
Sure.
Show me
Okay.
show me where the driveway goes.
You can see the driveway here.
Yes.
Okay, you see where my driveway comes down to it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is grass in here, this is grass on this side.
Okay, but from here to here, is that the easement?
No. The easement concerns only the driveway, not from here to here. And that's why I'm saying you're gonna have to pull the easement and see exactly what the terminology is. This piece here that you see right here, me and Mike, I deeded this piece, which I owned, but this little corner right here where it goes right here into our driveway, it's right here, Mike owns this right now.
Okay, so this is Mike's property?
Consolo, Kasiki, Seaplus.
Okay, but this is your property? correct?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Okay, and you've got a swimming pool?
Yes, I do.
Did you dig that?
Did we? Yes.
And how did you dig it?
A contractor dug it.
Okay, with what kind of equipment?
Driveway with stone.
Yeah, a backhoe. But the driveway in that year was all gravel.
Yes, it wasn't blacktop.
Have you done any improvements to your property since the pool?
No.
You have a fairly sizable house, do you not?
Yes.
Have you, in the last 15 years, or since the driveway was blacktop, do you have any commercial vehicles come on the blacktop driveway to your house?
Commercial, no.
Okay. Do you have any barns on your property?
No.
And do you, sir, do you have any barns on your
Yes, I
property?
do.
Why do you have barns?
Because I have horses and hay,
Okay. Do you
and I
ever,
went to the county and got the proper permits.
do you ever transport the horses off the property?
Do I transport the horses? Yes, I have a horse trailer.
And how do you do that, with a horse trailer?
Yes,
What size horse trailer?
probably about a 10-foot.
Okay, so just for two
Single
horses?
axle.
Okay. And have you had any construction on your property in the last 10 or 15 years?
No, not since the driveway's been paved, no. When it was gravel, yes, and I maintained the gravel.
I'm beginning to think that maybe it shouldn't have been blacktopped, it might have been better off.
No.
Gravel?
Okay, here, you say that. Mike and Scott will say how much gravel came in our finished driveways and into our garages, and how the potholes I would have to maintain every like 10 days because the cars would drag up the gravel and put it all over the place, and then I would have to go with a skid steer, smooth it out, or we would have potholes. It was the best thing we could have done was to blacktop that driveway.
I want to add to that comment. As a neighbor, I didn't know Bill when he first moved in, other than as a new neighbor. But I had also dropped, I can't even count the number of full loads of gravel that I also leveled on that entire quarter mile. So the neighbor to neighbor effect is there. It's just, we did this as a combined three neighbors that said, hey, we're tired of the cars getting destroyed and the gravel getting into the garages. It was the right decision to blacktop it.
There was testimony that there are at least 4 properties, maybe 5 in the area that have barns. Would you agree or disagree with that statement? To you, sir.
To me,
Yes.
Lisa had, I assume, I never saw it other than I saw a structure. I couldn't tell you how big it really was. She had a barn, Bill has a barn, Scott has a barn.
No, it's not.
Not a barn. Okay.
I have a barn, but it's on another parcel that has access to Cherry Valley Road.
Oh, that's good.
Would you
I'm
state your
sorry.
name for the record, please?
Scott Sequist.
But would you agree that there are a number of barns in the neighborhood area?
Yes.
And you think it's appropriate to deny her something that a bunch of the neighbors have?
No. As long as, with the stipulation that the roadway, the driveway damage is associated to Lisa if that's her construction project, and that she would be responsible, and that it would not bring any type of large commercial vehicle on the property on a I don't know where she gets her furniture from. She'd have to bring it on the property initially, it sounds like. And
I understand. Kim, Do we have the authority to grant such a condition? I don't believe that we do. I don't know that that's actually part and parcel of this hearing.
Any conditions that you put on a variance do need to be related specifically to the request. Although it is tied to the property, I don't believe that would be something that could be regulated in relation to the height of the structure.
All right, anything else that you wish to say?
Well, first off, I don't think our client can run a commercial operation out of there. So I think we're saying that, and I don't think my client at any point said that she was bringing in substantial amounts of furniture. I think we need to come back to, and I think Mr. McHenry asked the question, why does he want to do this? It's a hobby. She wants to create no different than people, I want a really nice big workshop. That's what she's saying. The contractor who she engaged to build it said, I think it would be useful to have a 14-foot door. As a result of having to have a 14-foot door, when you take into account the type of door you want, add 2 feet, have a roof that requires a snow load, that's where the roof came from. Not because she wanted a taller building, because that's what flushed out when she selected building that. I don't think there's been anyone who said anything that is going to be an issue, having a 26-foot tall here. The issue related to the driveway as raised are important issues. I will not marginalize those. I think those are things that are outside today's request. I think they are things that neighbors need to work out with each other. And I don't know that my client is against doing that. I did try to have that discussion, and I didn't get very far, and that's okay, that happens, and we're here today.
No, I'm sorry. Get you in just a moment.
Yeah, so other than that, no, I think that we've laid out what we want. I think that there are definitely some neighbor issues here. I will not say that there aren't, and I knew that they would be raised. And again, my only question would be, they asphalted the driveway. I know at the time it was asphalted, was contact made to all the owners to say, here's what we're going to do. Everyone should participate and pay for that asphalt when it went in. To my knowledge, my client was not consulted either hey, we'd like you to participate, or that she did. I did
pay for it. I did pay for it, but I was not consulted prior. But
Before it was asphalted,
right.
Was there communication that said, hey, this is what we're going to do?
No.
Subsequent to it being
That's
asphalted,
not horribly relevant.
Really?
Dr. Nye,
Yeah.
I routinely ask applicants if they've talked to any neighbors that actually approved their request. Did you get any positive requests when you explained what you were doing to your neighbors?
I talked to the gentleman, Adam, I can't remember his last name.
no, you're talking about neighbors.
Yeah, I talked to him. He's a neighbor to me. He's the one that can see my garage.
Oh, okay.
He's not here.
Which property is that?
It's that property with the blue pool. Yeah. He's the one who would see my garage. And he and I talked. He's the only one who could see this garage.
That's
Is
what you.
that correct?
No.
Adam,
No,
I
that's
don't
the one
remember
across
Adam's last
from
name.
my-
Question to the builder. You've heard the concerns about the type of equipment that has to be brought in. Is there any difference in equipment that you're going to need to use from building a more typical garage to the one that is being proposed?
No.
How can you potentially address the concerns that the neighbors have? What types of vehicles will you be using? Can you in any way downsize or make it better for the roads?
Yes, I was like, her driveway is extremely difficult to get into. I don't think we could get a semi truck in anyway, so we'll be bringing all the materials in smaller loads from like Menards, and it'll just be a normal pickup truck and trailer. It won't exceed 30,000 pounds.
You talked about the roof line and the trusses. Is there any other type of roof design that could be utilized that wouldn't require a 26-foot height?
I don't believe that we could get away with the snow load having a shorter pitch roof and still be within the 20 foot to have a 14-foot door.
Okay. All right. At this point, I would ask anything that staff wishes to add.
One thing quickly, just housekeeping here, I guess, Mr. Sequist did not get sworn in, so and since he spoke, if you want to do that. real quick.
Mr. Sequist, would you stand to be sworn? Do you promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? And your prior statement that you made is now considered to be under oath, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I would close the meeting at this time. And I know that there are concerns, and they're really not matters that are subject to consideration by this request. This is, as mentioned, a fairly straightforward request. I think she has met the requisite standards. I know that there are concerns. I would like to think that neighbors and good neighbors would work some of these things out. There may be some issues regarding who owns what property, but again, that's not before me at this particular point. She has the right to build a garage. Many of the concerns about the road usage would be similar to whether it's a garage or a taller height structure. So I would be in favor of this request. When would this go to the county board?
September 16th.
You do not have to be there. It's potentially on the consent agenda. You certainly have the right to be there if you wish. And I would ask all the neighbors to try to cooperate to make sure that we don't have any problems with this.
Thank you.